13 love, 13 knowledge, 13 wisdom, 13 respect. This is your Creation 13. Alright, so I'm going to be playing this video on YouTube by this guy who got extremely close to the sun. Like this blows my mind. It really does. But it's so interesting because a lot of what I've been learning in the Bible and researching really shows through this video here. Because what I've been researching, and TruthSeeker really got me deeper into it, is clouds, is mist, is spirits. Can we see spirits? What do they look like? And just the alive nature of things, right? Everything is alive around us, and you may not always see it, but there's molecules that are within the sky itself. Literally, like if you really paid attention and just really, really looked, you'll begin to see the static in the air, the different colors, different spectrums that reflect in the light. And it's so very fascinating, but you can't really capture the stuff on camera. It's really, really hard. But this blew me away. So we're going to go ahead and show you this video here. And I'll just kind of give you my interpretations of what we're watching here. So as you can see, it's Mr. Simon 2940. Don't know if this is his YouTube channel, but this is still very fascinating. And it starts off very interesting just right here alone. I mean, literally, just watching the characteristics of this. I mean, check this out, man. Like, we got some spiral motion here. This stuff is alive. And this is away from the sun. See how it's away. And to me, it literally looks like an entity or like a dragon of some kind, but just dancing mist. Like, I mean, you could view things like how you watch fire, right? You make fire, you got your firewood, and just how the fire dances and moves, right? And that's exactly what this reminds me of. And it's alive. Fire's alive. Water's alive. Snow is alive. And this is alive. And this blew me away right here. Because, like, this looks like fuzz. Like grass. Just shuffling around. But if you look at the characteristics of this, it's alive. And it's a mist. It's a haze. It's clouds. Clouds. This is clouds that come out of the sun. And while scientists will tell you differently, this blows scientific analysis out of the way. It's supernatural stuff that's happening here. And there's a lot of interpretations on what this could mean, right? There's a lot of talk about the sun in the Bible, literally all through the Bible. But as I've been researching, I don't think it's fully talking about the sun, but it definitely is elements of the sun that we see here. And this isn't fire. This is like some kind of like plasma or a living entity, a living organism. And I got another thing I'll mention in a little bit what it could be, right? But this is very fascinating as well. And watch this because, a lot of people say, oh, that looks like fire or a solar flare, right? But just imagine clouds coming out of here because you can literally go outside. And if you observe the sun, you will see clouds, mist coming out of the sun. And it's very, very interesting. And watching this makes a lot more sense. But this one's interesting because literally this looks like spirits jumping back and forth. These are living entities moving back and forth, and it just shifts and changes distances, right? Oh, then we got a commercial here. That's why I'm not playing no sound. Usually they don't mess with you if you don't have sound. But it's just so very, very fascinating. Oh, got another commercial. Gotta love doing this stuff on the go. Alright. So this gets interesting too. These little pockets here. Oh, missed it here. There we go. So these here are interesting. You should be able to see my little mouser thing here. But there's little holes through here, which is where these mists are going back and forth in. And this opens up some strange ideas that I have about what these are. But it really reminds me of like a womb, right? I'm just going to say it. It just reminds me of a womb that things enter and exit. They enter and exit. So when we were watching this here, this is one of those holes, right? And this is where it's active. And a lot of stuff is going on through that. It's just very mind-blowing what we're looking at here with all of these things that are exiting, ascending and descending from these little pockets. And you just see just these little mists moving around. You got some more mist here. This is interesting too. This is outside the sun. Shoots out from outside the sun, and then it drops this off. It drops this mist off onto the sun, and you got your dancing. See, isn't that interesting? And it just drops the mist down. It's like it releases it. Like if it was just like an airplane or an airplane releasing water. That's a good example. An airplane releasing water, or in this case, a mist onto the sun, right? So if it was a solar flare, it'd be the opposite. It would go this way. But you see some kind of deity making the mist go the opposite way. So that, what is that? It's definitely not a solar flare. So it's like it just lays it down. But then you got this big thing back here, just like in the beginning, literally a dancing deity. And it's just so very interesting because it's alive. Whatever this is, it's alive. And these look like dancing deities just having a good old time dancing around. I ain't joking, man. And just see this spiraling mist or this spirit just dancing around, and you still see it right here. But see, we got more of that. But see, it's a mist or a spirit or something that is just dancing around. And you see it goes back into those little wombs, little ascending, descending things. It's just so very, very fascinating what goes on. But look at this, man. This just blows my mind. Right? I mean, you watch these movies and stuff that show ghosts or spirits or myths that's so very similar, and seeing this stuff in real time just blows my mind that this is what the sun does every day, but we can't see it because it's so bright, you know. So I mean, is this where spirits ascend and descend? You know, we got talks of UFOs that ascend and descend, that take stuff from the sun. You know, there's a lot of interesting things. So many ideas, you know, that you can share here. But this this footage blew my mind. It still blows my mind that this stuff is real, you know? You got more of the mist. Kind of like a river, right? A river that's just to and fro. Just blows my mind. And everything has a reason and a purpose. Like, just look at that. Like, look over here, man. Isn't that interesting? And it just moves. Then we got more of this is here, and the light is pulsating from there. And that's where it makes it really interesting. Like, what is inside this sun or this cocoon? Like, I had an idea. Here's some more interesting things. I had this idea. It's just an idea of how they talk about everyone will see the Son of Man descend from the clouds, right? So what if this is a cocoon and deities, when it's an end of an age, hatch from this cocoon and then come down to Earth? And don't know. It's just an idea. But this definitely looks like some kind of cocoon or something that's harnessing a lot of things. Spirits for sure. Or whatever kind of these mist deities are. Because like I said again, these are clouds. These ascend away from the sun and are clouds. That's why you see these mists. This isn't lava. This isn't because some people will be like, oh, well, that's like a mist from heat, right? Because I want you to believe that the sun is like hot lava. So, but that gets thrown out the window because the higher you go, listen to me on this, the higher you go into the atmosphere, the colder it gets. You go on a really high mountain, it is freezing up there. And the sun is just as close whether you're on lower ground or higher ground. So that means the higher you go, it gets colder. That means the sun itself is not hot, but it's the reflection of the sun of light that produces heat. Reflection produces heat, but the sun is not hot. Just think about that for a second. But anyways, just watching this stuff still blows my mind on this, and it's just so weird. And the different contrasts that this guy uses on for the footage is awesome too. It'd be nice if he kind of explained the different settings he used, because the sun looks different in a lot of these. So like this is definitely a different contrast. But again, we got some interesting things going on. We got more of those pockets there. This one seems to be not as active, but we got this one over here that is active. So much so that you can't see the opening of it, but you can see the spiraling mist that is coming from it, and it's alive, right? It's producing light as these mists keep moving back and forth. And that was funny too. Like, how in the world do you get the shadow of an airplane on the sun? That makes you think a little differently about things. And just how close is the sun? The sun is obviously a lot closer than we're aware of. Because if it can cast a shadow, an airplane can cast a shadow on the sun, we got something going on there. But again, we got just these dancing mist, just dancing away, right? You know, the mainstream audience or scientists will tell you something different, but man, just look at that. This is blows my mind. And just seeing the stuff, like I just had an idea. Just trying to figure out just where the interpretations of wings came from for perceived angels. Like when you look at the pictures of Enki and Enlil, they have wings, right? There's a deity that has a hawk head. Literally, that's like that's what it really looks like. Has wings, right? But I do feel that this is where the wings originate from a mist, because you got to think of how a mist looks, right? How it dances, how it positions itself. Um, just so fascinating, and it just gets absorbed in there, while others just hang out. And you know this stuff is alive because it keeps a distance. It has its own pattern. It's all over the place. Um, if it was, say, like lava or even like water, where it's controlled, that's different. But this is so very interesting. Each one of these things is alive. And if it was like water or like lava, it would have a gravitational, that's the term they would use, a gravitational pole where it would be all the same. But this is everywhere. That's where you know this mist is alive. It's intelligent. It morphs. It gets sucked back in to those little holes, and they just dance away. It's just so. It just still blows my mind, like just how that is. But I wanted to share this with you guys just because not a lot of people. And here's a good close up of these um, portals or whatever these are that these spirits enter and exit out of. And maybe UFOs enter and exit out of those as well. I don't know. But definitely a lot of moving around, and if these are spirits or whatever these are, um, it definitely opens up a big discussion on exactly what is that sun. I mean, look at that. Like people would say, hey, that's a solar flare, but that's a lot more than that. Like, you know, is some of this stuff trying to escape from the sun? It's like, nope, you're not escaping. You're going to go back in. Just look at that. Isn't that crazy? And it gets sucked back in, so you can't say that it's like lava, because look at that. It absorbs, it goes right back in. It's not winding itself or anything. It's literally, and you can watch it again, it goes out, and it's like, nope, you're going to come back in here. You're not leaving yet. Look at that. That just blows my mind. Just how that is. And just the fuzzy nature of it. I mean, look at that. It just looks like fuzz, which leads me to believe it could be a cocoon up there that harnesses spirits, vehicles. I don't know. But I do know that the Bible does discuss what goes on the sun. And this reveals a lot of it just in these pictures alone. I mean, look at that. That literally looks like an opening for, you know, where how babies are born. So it's whew, very, very fascinating. So yeah, so I just want to share that with you guys. Definitely up for discussion of it. So definitely share your views of the sun below. And I'm sure that people will say, well, scientists have said this and that. But like I said, I say throw that stuff out the window, man. We're seeing a lot more in that. And seeing this stuff, you know, just knowing that, I'll show you this again. Just knowing that this is clouds, just observe the sun. Don't blind yourself, but just observe the sun. And just know that this is clouds and it goes away from the sun. You know, yeah, I mean, you can view this as clouds. I mean, look at that. Those are literally just like if just go outside and you just see these clouds. So clouds, cloud of witnesses, um, just watching thunderstorms, you know, just watching and observing clouds and how they move and blend together. Um, it's intelligent, right? Um, you just have to just sit back and just um, renew your mind into a state where uh, the world doesn't overtake your imagination or your curiosity of things. Because, you know, I'll tell you right now, man, that just blows my mind just seeing this stuff. So, anyways, I'm just rambling on now. So, yeah, so I just want to share that with you guys. I'll be talking more about this stuff later. I got a lot more stuff I'm going to be sharing. Some stuff interesting, some stuff scary. But at the end of the day, um, sharing this stuff is definitely very important. Not a lot of people are sharing this stuff or being able to explain what we're seeing. Like, all I'm doing is just sharing ideas of what I feel that it is. It's definitely intelligent, and these clouds or whatever they are definitely have intelligence behind them. It's not just one, it's many. So they break away and they're many, and then they form as one, just like clouds. Right? They separate and then they merge back together. So, yeah. So, anyways, love yourself. Keep shining bright. I'll talk to you all later.